Alright, so now let's move on to our next part of Python programming. Okay, so we have seen, right, we can give input to the we can assign some value to a variable, and it can give us basically it takes the value and can perform whatever operation we want. So let's look at this particular piece of code. Okay, so we have assigned a value of a 10 to a and 20 to b. Now if we say print value of a, if we want to use print command to give the value, so we have to do is, so we see, right, the value of a is, now ideally a is, this is how we want our output, the value of a is 10 and b is 20, right? So that means the value should be taken from here. So what we do is, instead of manually assigning it as 10, we'll put a token here, okay, and b is here within curly brace brackets, dot format a comma b. That means format the first it will pull the information from here, that is this, and for second b over here it will pull from here, which is 20. Now what if if this is other way around, this is b and this is a, and if you run this, what happens is the value of b is 10 and a is 20. Now if you see, this is not what we want because the values are wrong. Now what if you don't know the sequence, right? You know that, okay, the sequence is reversed and we want to change it. So instead of changing the sequence right here, you can actually give an index value to this. So like list, even this has an index value. So this is index value 0, this is index value 1, and so on. So what I can do is b or is 1. You can actually mention the index value within this parenthesis, and you run this. Now the value of b is 20 and a is 10, right? B is 20 and a is 10. So that means now actually the values are matching. So this is how you can actually map the input values and into the output statement. Now let's look at this, where we can ask user for a input, right? So what we are doing is we are defining num, where we are taking the input, that is enter number, okay, and we are going to use double, defining a variable double where num is into 2, which is going to double, basically multiplied by 2, okay, and we are going to print using the same format, this format. We are going to use print double of 0 is 1, right? So that means what we'll do is double of 0, that means the first member of this particular format, right, that is num 0, it will take it from here, which is the input that we are going to give, and double is 1 is double this, which is going to get calculated. So double of this is this. So if we run this, it will ask us for a number, right? So if we put 56, let's say it's 112, right? So it will calculate the double and it will print this is double of this is this. Now if I just remove this, okay, now moving next is now how to identify if some values are same or not, or they are equal or not. So let's say a is equal to 5, b is equal to 4. If print a is b, now in this we are not asking it to directly print something, but we are asking it to check whether a is equal to b or not, and accordingly, now since over here a is equal to b, we are getting an output as true. What if I change it to 6 and I run this? We don't get a response, and this, okay, it's still running. Okay, hold on, stop this. I'll just interrupt the kernel. Okay, something went wrong. Okay, hold on. Anyways, okay, now it will run. Okay, now it is giving us true. I'll just fix that later on. So let's say if I do this and unequal, I get a false. Okay, now moving forward, now let's look at this piece of code. Now if num is equal to 10, Okay, we are defining the value of num as 10. If the number is greater than 0, we want it to print positive number, else we want it to print negative number. Okay, so what if now this 10 is already positive, so it will give us positive number. What if we do is negative 6? If we run, it gives us negative number. So what it's doing is we are using pushing the condition into if else statement. So number, if this number is greater than 0, that means it's the positive. If not, if it is not greater than 0, then it is a negative number. Okay, so that's how we do it. Now what if you have to do multiple, where you have to figure out what is the uh, biggest of the three numbers. Okay, so so let's say num1 is 10, num2 is 50, and num3 is 15. Okay, so if number 1 is greater than or equal to number 2 and number 1 is greater than or equal to number 3. Okay, so look at this. So first what we are doing is we are going one by one. So we'll take first number and we'll compare with both of the other two numbers. Okay, if this number is greater than this and also greater than this, that means this is the largest number, so we can directly print number this as the largest number, right? So look at this. So if number 1 is greater than or equal to number 2 and number 1 is greater than or equal to number 3, okay, so we can say that largest number is number 1. If any of this condition is not true, then it will move to the next condition, where we'll move to number 2. If it is greater than number 1 and number 3, we'll check. If yes, then it will print largest as number 2. Or by default, now we have proved that number 1 and number 2 are not the largest one, so by default number 3 becomes the largest, and largest element among the three number is, we pass on the largest value which is stored, gets stored into the largest, and we get the largest number among the three is 50. Okay, so simple. So this is a basic programming which in Python, simple basic form of codes, which is again would it come I got to learn this from an excellent course into applied AI machine learning. So this is awesome. This is like Python is very important. You please try to learn it, and yeah, definitely you have an assignment in your Blackboard folder, which will ask you to calculate the prime number, whether identify if a particular number is a prime number or not. Okay, so why don't you go ahead, put some logic, write down a simple line of code and see if it is running or not. What I want you to do is I want you guys to save this file, okay, and download it as IPYNB notebook. Okay, that is IPython notebook. Okay, and upload that file as a part of your submission, because I will definitely, for your assignment, okay, for the assignment. So because I would like to run it and see your code, add and how to add and mention comments wherever necessary. You anyways have instructions mentioned in the assignment file, so go through it, and all the best.